Hey everyone, welcome to Bugsmashers. I'm your host, Mark Abent. I'm a senior gameplay programmer here to show you all the awesome bugs that make me cry. Bugsmashers! Hey everyone, we are here in my fun test level of shenanigans, and we have a bug today with the shotgun. So let's hop in the game and take a look. So I put a shotgun on the ground, and then just gonna grab it, grab my shotgun. And the bug is, should I say, when you fire a gun, you expect the projectiles to go where you're approximately aiming, then you do a recoil. So let's see what happens. Pew! As you can see, it's not exactly what we expect. You know, you have the shots lining up towards the center, which is where the shell should go, but we're also getting some on the very top. And our spread is obviously not that bad. What's actually happening here is when we shoot, it's actually emitting the projectiles during the recoil stage rather than emitting them all before we recoil. You expect to, when you shoot, you fire, the projectile leaves, then you recoil, not I shoot, recoil, then the projectiles leave. So we have a slight order issue. So let's step into the code. Here is our fun legacy shotgun fire mode. This is all going to get cleaned up in the new weapon system, but for now we have this awesome legacy code. And we actually have multiple phases of our firing. We have a setup phase, which is when I have my gun, we try to figure out where the barrel of the gun's going to be so that we could emit the projectile there. And then we have a recoil phase where after we have emitted, we need to now create the muzzle effect and any interesting trails so we could have a separation. And unfortunately, this little fun bool right here is the thing that controls when we actually fired. So when we come into this fun little bit of code, we basically shoot, but we don't create a projectile yet. And because this bool is true, we now emit the recoil before we even got to the recoil phase. So what we want to do is remove this, so when we shoot, we have yet to create the projectiles because they're deferred spawn, so they may not happen right then and there. We need to make sure that we do the fired phase during the recoil, and it should just be as simple as, in the recoil phase, then we mark it as true. So what this should now do, I'm going to hit recode, is I fire the gun. It's going to prep spawning some, let's see, where's that at? So, this guy. So we fire it, we prep some projectiles that we're going to spawn. They get spawned in the deferred spawning process. And when it happens, we get this callback, and we should be in the setup phase where we're going to emit the projectiles. Then, once they've all emitted, we go to the recoil phase, which is now going to spawn the muzzle effect and pretty particles. And then we signify during that recoil phase we want to do the popping of the gun up. So let's see what happens now. Haha! It's as you expect. Now, all the projectiles get emitted, then the recoil phase occurs. And you get the actual shotgun working as intended, not nerfed because my projectiles are going all over the place. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time. So, we had one of those infamous bugs where having a variable in one spot versus another spot just brings completely different behavior. You have your shotgun and you shoot it, you expect the gun to shoot the projectile where you're aiming, then recoil up, not shoot the gun, recoil, and then emit the projectile. So just moving that simple bool into a completely different spot so it makes sure that we marked it as fired after recoil, resolve the issue, and now we shoot where we expect, then recoil. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in the Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.